See, I watch you, man. I watch you. You do good work, sir. Check this out here. Snow White hands Disney a $300 million loss. $500 million so far in 2025. Good Lord, Renegade, what have you stumbled upon? Get over and follow the valiant Renegade. Tyrone, tell him Tyrone Magnus sent you.
Disney's live-action remake of Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, has crashed, handing Disney shareholders what is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of a $300 million loss on this film.
Now, I believe Valiant Renegade is an analyst, as Nerdrotic calls them. So let's pay attention to what the man has to say. He's an analyst for entertainment, and he's been doing it for a while. So he should know what he's talking about. Let's check this out.
To make matters worse, that's the second entry this year so far that has bombed. And collectively, so far in 2025, Disney is starting its theatrical run roughly $500 million in the hole.
That's according to a number crunch by prominent YouTuber Valiant Renegade, who argues that Disney's recent so-called hits barely...
Look at you, Renegade! Look at you! On prime time!
...broke even or flat out tanked.
Let me explain. Welcome back. Another great day here at Valiant Renegade. It's good to see all of you out there once again. And if you are like one of the many watching this video not yet subscribed to this channel, please take a moment and turn that little red subscribe button to gray. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell, share this sucker out on the social medias, and of course, please do leave a comment.
What the hell is going on? Well, it ain't my car.
Before you head out the door today, make sure to join us every Sunday and Wednesday afternoon right here for the live show. As if they...
Shut up, you big piece of trash! Stone Road Steve Austin is trying to do a reaction to Valiant Renegade, and you won't shut up. Thank you. About to go out there and give him a damn stunner.
Things weren't bad enough for Snow White. It's gone from...
Jason Statham's working man with $15 million. Opening put Snow White to sleep. Sends Jenna Ortega Unicron out to pasture. Sunday box office update.
Bad to work.
Wankers.
First, now, not only did the second weekend collapse nearly 70% from its opening weekend, tragic in and of itself, but now a random Jason Statham action movie, which was largely panned by audiences, managed to beat it. A working man came in with $15.2 million as of estimates right now from Amazon and MGM Studios.
Shows you what people want to see. See? Tired of woke garbage. Rubbish, mate. Yeah, I know.
And Disney's Snow White, a full $1 million behind it at 14.2. That now brings the total for Snow White thus far to $66 million domestically. Now, to put that into perspective, that's only about $24 million for the entire week for Snow White. From Monday through today, Sunday, the full 10-day total now at 66.8, as we mentioned, and the international box office itself only climbed about $30 million additionally in the previous 7 days. This movie is done. And just to be clear, this movie has opened in every single major international market. There's nothing left out there for it to clock in at. And back to our chart comparing some of the most, comparable movies to Snow White, at least in terms of release date and things that have come from Disney that were of similar stature. Let's take a look at how bad things are now. We've got Rachel Zegler's Snow White. We've got The Little Mermaid. That is, of course, the Halle Bailey 2023 live-action remake of it. Dumbo, Captain America Brave New World, The Marvels, and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. And if you look there at the second Sunday, the only movie that Disney's Snow White has managed to thus far surpass is the Marvels, but not by very much. Only about $2 million in.
And the Marvels was a big piece of trash. So there's 2 pieces of trash on the damn pile.
Domestic box office. Little Mermaid stands out the strongest at this point in its run at nearly $187 million domestic. That's right. The Little Mermaid live-action remake of 2023, the one that still lost Disney probably somewhere around $150 million or so. Yeah, 3 times the box office for that remake compared to where Snow White is currently. Dumbo, a movie that was a complete failure for Disney, is $10 million ahead.
Yeah, and I saw it, and I can't remember. Me and Scarlo sat down to watch it. I don't remember it.
At the same point in time, Captain America Brave New World, where Disney lost roughly $200 million, if not more, on that one, is more than double where Snow White is right now. The Marvels, as we said before, at $65 million roughly, and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, $167 million at this point, directly above my screen here. That's more than 2.5 times where Snow White is presently. Now, as a reminder, according to Disney's own financial filings in the United Kingdom, this production had already spent nearly $280 million US if we do a simple conversion from Great British pounds on this report to US dollars today in March of 2025. And of course, they've got some film tax credits coming back from there of several tens of millions of dollars, but $280 million was the gross spend on this film, but only through the end, December 31st of 2023. And again, when you see those positive integers there for tax on loss, that is the money that this production received back from the British government, or in other words, the UK taxpayers out there for the film tax credits on this film, roughly 45 million British pounds. So what did Disney spend in the previous 15 months since that report was filed? Well, I promise you it was a whole lot more. And we've been speculating very comfortably that that figure is going to easily exceed about 100 million US dollars. And it may be another 6 to 12 months before we see the next report, hopefully sooner than that. And it may be another year after that before we see what may be a final report for this film. It's kind of like filing taxes here in the United States. You do it once a year, so there's always a delay on getting the actual final data.
Gotcha.
But no matter how you slice it, this is a humiliating defeat for Disney, or at least another humiliating defeat for Disney. The second one of this year. And that brings us back to our initial point. Roughly a $300 million loss on this film, Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler. But that's not all, because we've got Captain America Brave New World that is still basically hanging on in the box office for reasons unknown. But that movie is going to be largely disappeared.
I don't even think it was in the theaters anymore.
in the next few days with the release of the Minecraft movie. Now, say what you want about how it looks. It's probably still going to draw, more than likely, a bigger audience than Snow White. And
Minecraft looks like it's going to be horrible. But, you know what? I need one of you to recommend what I should play in Minecraft so that I'm kind of like, I'm up to speed and will understand the movie better. Okay, let me know. Are there different Minecraft games out there? I know I played the Telltale ones, but I want to know like other stuff. Like what's the main one I should play to kind of get acclimated?
Maybe even bigger than Captain America Brave New World. Because Captain America Brave New World currently sits at about 406 Brave New World audience than Snow White. And maybe even bigger, more than likely, a bigger audience than Snow White. And maybe even bigger Minecraft movie. Now, say what you want about how it looks.
Okay.
It's probably still going to draw, more than likely, a bigger audience than Snow White, and maybe even bigger than Captain America Brave New World. Because Captain America Brave New World currently sits at about $406 million globally in the box office. That's going to bring somewhere around $200 million or so back to the Walt Disney Company on average between domestic and international. And between its production cost, And also its global marketing spend to put this film into theaters, that totaled somewhere probably around $400 million for the Walt Disney Company. Again, don't pay attention to the ridiculous $180 million budget figure that keeps showing up out there on all these bot and marketing farms. That's a figure that Disney probably initially greenlit 4 to 5 years ago when this film was set into motion. That is not what the final cost was when this movie made it to theaters.
I told you, a lot of people have been talking about how it's not like nobody believes that 180. Nobody.
Because they had a lot of reshoots and a lot of post-production do-overs, especially in terms of VFX. And that's just not how it works when it comes to initial budgets versus final costs. They're always going to go up when you do that much rework. So yes, you can expect easily roughly another $100 million for this film, because even when Disney budgets these things with greenlit money, like $180 million, they're typically forecasting the tax credits that they're going to receive back, meaning they even initially probably planned to spend more than $180 million and then calculated that maybe $40 to $50 million would be recovered in tax credits to get them down to a net spend of $180 million. And that's just
some stuff
like
I never
Snow
knew.
White, with a 1-year delay and additional heavy reshoots, rewrites, re-VFX, everything else that we had heard. All the stories appeared to be very true. So between Captain America, Brave New World, and Snow White, Disney is starting roughly $500 million in the hole for its 2025 theatrical slate. Now you have to ask yourself, is there anything on the horizon that can generate so much cash for Disney that they can overcome this?
I don't think so. I think Thunderbolts is going to be meh to bad. And I think that Fantastic Four is probably going to be meh to bad. People got a lot of faith in those trailers. You could absolutely be correct. And I will walk in here and I will tell you just how great both of these movies are, because I want my entertainment to be great. But these trailers have not won me over whatsoever. I don't have any faith in either one of them. But I'm hoping that it's just trailers that didn't catch my attention, and when I watch it, it's going to be extraordinary.
It doesn't seem terribly likely. Yeah, Lilo and Stitch is probably going to be
Oh,
a big
yeah,
hit,
Lilo and
but even
Stitch. I
if
forgot
that
about
movie
them.
turns a profit of, say, $100, $200 million, well, that's only getting them partially out of the hole. And then you've got other movies coming up like
Lilo and Stitch will have to be super huge.
Thunderbolts, which have a big question mark on it as to how that's going to play out,
Yeah.
considering what Captain America Brave New World just did in theaters. Do we really expect Thunderbolts to outperform a Captain America film,
I don't at all.
even with not Steve Rogers in the main role? Pixar's Ilio, a question mark. We'll have to...
I like Sam more than I like everybody in the Thunderbolts movie, except for Bucky. I like Sam and Bucky kind of, you know what I mean? Winter Soldier Bucky, I like a little more than Sam, you know what I'm saying? But the Bucky we got now, they're kind of, you know what I mean, with me.
to see how that one fares this summer. It's way too early to tell what the audience response is going to be for that one. And as we get down later into the year, the Moana live action remake may be a hit. You might have something with Zootopia too. But again, when you're already starting $500 million in the hole, that is a very deep hole to climb out of. And just to give you an idea of how big a $500 million hole is for Disney, for the entire fiscal year of 2024, which ended September 30th of last year, well, they made $7.6 billion before taxes. So a $500 million hit to start out the calendar year of 25 in the theaters is a massive, massive issue. Snow White really has nowhere to go from here, thanks to my...
All right, I'm going to stop it right here. Thank you, Renegade. Appreciate it, man. Man. But what? We've been telling you. We've been telling you for years, Disney, to do right by us and do right by the people that have stood behind you all of these years, going to the parks every year, buying everything Disney possible, Disney Plus, Disney shoes, Disney socks, watching all your TV shows, going to all your movies, and then you alienate them with all the woke garbage. And we've been telling you, you don't listen. And you put this out instead of Batgirling it, you should have Batgirled it. 10 million subscribers. Woo! Oh. I hope it's off the broke we go. I hope.